Hey everyone, and welcome to... I guess you could call this a Let's Play or developer commentary, whichever you want, because... it's Sup-Zero DX. Now, there were several other versions before this. I think, yeah, there were 3 other versions made before this one, but this one is definitely the one that you should play, considering it is the best version of the game available. Now we start off with some fairly generic tracks here, unfortunately. Or rather, well, this first one is rather generic. I mean, it kind of looks like a snake. Kind of. And over here, you'll see that area. That is from an older version of the game, which I will talk more about when we get to when it is relevant. Which is obviously not right now, since I'm not talking about it. Now, this ROM hack is designed with the wild goose in mind. It's one of the problems in the original F-Zero. All the vehicles are so varied that you usually get them only designed for, like, well, the one that just went by up there, the Fire Stingray. Or maybe you get them designed for the Golden Fox or even the Blue Falcon at times, but very rarely is there one designed for the wild goose. Also, a generic car rammed into us from behind, not a good thing for us. But yeah, this ROM hack is practically built. It's built directly for the wild goose. And what are the attributes of the wild goose? It's very crash resistant. It second highest top speed, second slowest acceleration. And that might be it, if I recall. Its steering isn't the best, but like I said, it's designed for the wild goose, so we aren't. Well, anyway, the point is, it also brakes a lot better than some of the other vehicles on the roster. It can take more damage. So these tracks were made with those features in mind, which means that some, in fact, actually a lot of the other vehicles don't fare so great on some of these. The Fire Stingray especially got dealt a very rough hand in this hack. Fire Stingray doesn't do so great. See, because the Fire Stingray, it has the highest top speed and the lowest acceleration, and thusly the lowest deceleration as well. Or slowest, I should say. But that leads to problems with tracks like this one. Now, remember that little area I pointed out in the first course of the game? Well, originally that was a track. Originally, Sand Ocean 2 was just, you know, going over that track, but a little differently. Now, look at that. You see, we navigated that just fine with a wild goose. The Fire Stingray can't navigate that very well, if at all, because it just can't slow down quick enough. And of course, I'm not good with the Fire Stingray, so I don't really playtest with any vehicle aside from the one that I am good with, which is this one. And, you know, even when I did, I was like, well, it's probably my fault, right? Oh, and this palette for Sand Ocean here. This palette is from BS F-Zero Grand Prix 2, the download practice ROM that we have. It is the palette for Sandstorm 2. Guess what that is? Just guess. It's Sand Ocean, pretty much. Except the little fade here, you know, it's light here, like in the original Sand Ocean, but there it's dark. Nothing I could do about that, but, you know, it looks a bit funky. But, you know, I like the darker palette. And silence. Don't be frightened by that mini-map. Yet. And I say that because it's fucking important. Don't be frightened by that yet. Oh wait, we have the school jump. Speed booster section. These little things with magnets after them to lower your jump height a little. I'm not actually sure if they do that. But, oh well, it's much too late now. It's not like it affects the game any. We've gone around a lap. I just want to see if I can do something. I don't... This is not in service of the race. As you can no doubt tell. Aha! Yep, you can. That is an oversight on my part. But oh well. I mean, it has no advantage at all. In fact, it's a disadvantage, and, well... You can pick up what I'm putting down, and there's no reason to do that at all. Get out of the way. Ironically, the Fire Stingray seems to be doing the best out of the AI vehicles. Usually it is the vehicle trailing right behind us right now, the Golden Fox, but it seems that the Fire Stingray is doing good this time. I mean, if I really had to guess, I'd say that it has to be the speed boosters that are helping it go so fast. Because, you know, the difficulty settings in this game set the maximum speed of the other racers, but they don't set the acceleration. So usually, the Golden Fox just parades around in first, unless you, the player, are in first. You know what I mean. Out of the AI cars, the Golden Fox is up front, and the Fire Stingray is in the back. Because the Fire Stingray sucks. But, you know, things turned out a little different. Alright. You may have noticed that said Mute City 2. Well, yes, it did. Because it's It takes place on the Mute City 2 slot. Also, this section is really ugly. If I could go back and just, you know, make it the regular Mute City tiles, I would, but I can't. Upsetting. How I did that was I took the Red Canyon background tile asset. You know, like Fuzi has various FZ clips, which are a whole bunch. They're basically track segments you can put down. You can make your own, but I mostly use the default ones. So what I did is I took the Red Canyon background one, and I put it down here in Mute City. And it doesn't look very good, but unfortunately, it would, you know, it would cause damage to the actual track if I were to get rid of it. So you might notice that section over there with the regenerators and the speed boosters. I am not sure if that section is ever used. I'm not sure at all. I know in version 1.0 it was used on this course, but it was way too sharp of a turn. So I changed it to use a different section of the course instead. But as a result of that, I'm not sure if that section is even used at all. But look at us, we did it! I'll see you next time for commentary on the Queen League. You know, after we finish watching this guy drive around.